I don't want any of you little fuckers to take my shit.
I knew that what I did was like very unorthodox, like against all the rules. Me and John get hit up a lot by, upcoming music producers. Can you hear my beats? If you like any, are you down to like collaborate? And the whole goal for these guys is to get placements.
Get put on, yeah.
Which is, yeah. So basically I had this idea. I'm like, well, instead of emailing me beats, why don't we just link up, right? So what I did was I created this little event called Pass the Aux, where you come to a studio,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
The aux cable.
I totally understand. I got it.
And so it's like come through to a secret studio.
Let's put on
location.
seatbelts. I'm not trying to fuck around.
Pass the aux, secret studio location. 20 to 30 producers, you register for the event, and you get to come to a studio and actually, plug in the aux cable and play your beat for Illmind. And you're there with, 20 to 30 other upcoming producers that you've never met in that city. So it kind of works as like, the thing I learned with doing it is like, it works as an opportunity to play me music, but also to get them out of their comfort zone. These kids are coming from like the basement with their headphones on by themselves with like no interaction with anyone to now being forced to play, their beats in front of 30, 40 strangers on like huge Asperger speakers and just putting them on the spot. So like the experience itself has been inspiring for like them and me, but also too just seeing how many producers just want it.
Oh God, they want it so
badly,
bad,
dude.
And also, Bill, the thing that's
they look up to you, man. It just you know what happened? All of us, like, by the way, every single person in this car, micro fame. People don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, anything anybody does, somebody else aspires to do.
Yeah.
Like it just didn't work like that back in the day. I'm a businessman. Do you know what a 41-year-old white businessman looked like in culture 20 years ago? Right?
Yeah.
Same with producers, right? Like, who was talking about producers 30 years ago?
Well, what's crazy about the events is it leaves behind in each market this micro community. These 20, 30 kids now all linked with each other.
100.
So they go from having no network to,
To having a full network.
30-person network.
And the legacy, like you're gonna be laying down, listening to something 25 years, and somebody's gonna like, in like the break where they're just talking about shit, be like, I met him at this, like, that's the shit. That's
the shit.
This line I had, people were happy to be in line for 4 hours because they were networking with each other.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's the exact same.
You stopped by? Oh yeah, you stopped by.
Yeah, business community.
How crazy was that?
That's crazy.
2,000, over 2,000.
That's
Did the
crazy.
CA,
Like in the streets
did the CA music people were like, what the fuck?
They're bigger than the Easy Drop.
They're like, is this for him?
Every person was just like, wow.
Wow.
I told everyone, I said, yeah, it's like Gary just became a Jonas brother.
that's real though. Yeah. But no, it's interesting because like I think these kids buy into the experience thinking, okay, I'm gonna play my beats for Illmind, he's gonna like them enough to collaborate with me.
Of course.
And I can get a placement, and then they walk away from the experience realizing that it was more about breaking out of their shell and really also getting a clearer picture of seeing the type of
The
level,
stuff that goes behind it.
right, like wow, like I have a lot of work to do because all 29
these
people here are fucking way better than me. And then you have the few 2 or 3 that get the most response, and then that's telling them that
They got something.
They got something,
So wait, you did one when?
Yesterday, last night.
Where?
At 17 Hertz Studio.
And it's $250 a head?
250
Yeah,
a head.
but-
Yep. So this,
You
the
should explain the drum kit business because
that ties in. So, this event is a new thing, but I think it all started back in 2011, right? So, when I was coming up, I was a producer. I studied Pete Rock, DJ Premier, Jay Dilla, all the greats, right? And so there's this culture in hip hop production where you're never supposed to share your drum sounds or your samples. Like if they ask you where you got a sample, you don't sample snitch, basically. So basically, one day in 2011, this was around the time that I was like working with 50 Cent, and I was kind of buzzing a little bit, but I was more of like an underground producer.
Where'd you grow up?
Jersey.
Where?
Newark.
Love it.
Yeah.
I grew up in Edison.
Oh, it's right there.
And my business is in Springfield, my wine
crazy,
store.
Crazy.
So real close.
Yeah, that's amazing. I went
Go
to
ahead.
Rutgers, New
You
Brunswick.
did?
For a little bit.
Yeah.
So
How old are you?
Right now?
Yeah.
35.
Was the US 1 flea market still up, or did they tear it down by the time you went to Rutgers? On 27, the movie theater was already there, right? Yeah, because I saw 8 Mile there, so
I think
forget
so.
it.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm like daying it now.
It hasn't really changed that much though.
No, but really they did.
It did,
Because I
though.
grew up there.
Yeah.
There was a flea, where that movie theater is, that big one.
Oh yeah.
On Route 1.
18?
On
Oh,
Route 1.
Route 1.
That used to be the US 1 flea market.
Uh-huh.
That's where I cut my chops and baseball
That's
cards and
crazy.
toys and everything. That's where I learned it.
That's crazy, man.
Okay, go ahead.
So, one day in 2011, I woke up and I'm like, I wonder if, there's producers out there that want my sounds, right? And
So
at
what
the
did you
time-
do?
So at the time, I'm like, let me put a collection together, a zip file of all the drum sounds that I made from scratch and used over the years, and just zip it up.
Where'd you put it?
I made a zip file and I
And?
put it on my
Website?
on my blog site at
Uh-huh.
the time with a PayPal Now button. So I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, fuck it.
And you just asked for donations. You didn't, like, people take it if they want it, if they want to give you some love?
I was charging.
You were charging. How much?
So $20.
Yep.
Right. I'm
And here you go.
150 sounds.
That's a
Fuck
fucking
it.
deal.
Buy now, whatever. So
Okay.
I put it up, whatever. I didn't think anything
Stepped
of it.
away.
Stepped away. Woke up the next morning and I saw like $3,000 extra in my PayPal account from sales.
Yep.
So I'm like, holy shit! I see the alerts.
Did you have a
and all that.
MySpace, a Twitter, a Facebook? Where
I had
were
all
you
that.
at?
I
All
had
that.
MySpace, Twitter a little bit, but
Yeah.
not really, and then my blog, and that was it.
And what about now? Instagram?
Instagram, yeah, all that stuff. Yeah.
Like, what are you most focused on?
Well, Instagram, I would say, Twitter, Facebook. I need to really be more.
What about YouTube and Snap?
YouTube? I'm just getting into, and
Snap?
I'm just getting into.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so,
Good.
Yeah, but most of it is Instagram, I think, right, John?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so I put that out, and it becomes this thing. So then I'm like, holy shit, this is real, right? There's producers that want drum kits, and so I put Volume 2 out, and like that did even better. And then I eventually migrated into Shopify, and then that just changed the game for me. And then just from there on, it just became a thing.
That's
and
your
now
big part of your biz.
it's a big part, yeah. So it's at the point where
How do you sell it now?
just through what is
Meaning,
this?
like, what do you put out? Like, what do
Um,
you sell? Like 20? Like, how many beats? How much?
Explain the
So-
average. We probably do on average between 7 to 9 a year on his direct one. There's
Yeah.
now a sister site though called Kid So Hard where we allow other producers to sell their.
And you guys take a
products.
vig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what we do is we use our email list, which we've cultivated
course.
over all these years.
Of course.
We do the artwork for.
Of course.
We do all the marketing. So
And
there's
what do you guys
actually-
take?
there's
20,
some equity.
50? How much do you take?
It kind of depends.
Yeah.
Different producers with different.
Have different leverage.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I get it.
It's, and
I get
everything's
it.
leverage
Exactly.
based.
So the interesting thing about
That's why attention matters, man.
Yeah.
It's the only thing.
And it's all D2C, and we just do everything.
The whole world's D2C.
Social-
They just don't know it yet.
Yeah,
Wow.
it is, and they really don't.
I know.
Because we did a couple SEO dollars, but
No.
There's
The
no
world is D2C.
Mm.
They just don't know it yet.
Wow. Naturally, from the drum kit stuff, I started a blog,
Yep.
well, I had the blog, but then I started a podcast, which is just, it's called Blab Chat. It's just 2 hours every week of just music production talk.
No
And
shit.
So, yup. And so I'm
You
calling
have guests?
Guests, yeah. Ryan Leslie, fucking, who else? Like,
Justice League's
interns,
done it,
Justice
Cardi,
League, just
yeah.
all like Grammy-winning producers.
Good for
who are
you,
my
man. I like
peers.
that.
Well, it's crazy the drum kit thing has scaled into the mid six figures on a $20 to $30 point of purchase. Like,
Yeah,
and
it's
it, if you ever told me you could volume something at that price point into that kind of overall nut, I would have been like, cool story, bro. That's not
Yeah, I totally get it, man.
I didn't expect it, And the crazy thing is, very established producers like Grammy-winning producers and all these guys are using the sounds too. So any new music coming out, you're always gonna hear one of my sounds in it.
It's fucking crazy.
This is nuts. Everything from Bruno Mars's album to Drake's new album. Those are like my sounds.
Because
So
everybody's incorporating some of that
everyone's
stuff.
incorporated.
And do people know? Like, do people know? Like, people in the know, right?
Yeah.
People in
like,
the
I
know
wouldn't
know.
know, but like,
The people that need
Right.
to know.
no,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're meeting with Dr. Dre out here. Like they're meeting with all the people who
matter.
know.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd say Dre matters.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's doing all
I
right.
think
He did
he might be on the
doing all right.
Yeah, the internet literally came along and leveled not even leveled the playing field.
It's a new.
Gave the, you know what it did? It ate up the distribution of everything,
Yeah.
and then took nothing for it, and is paying out two groups of people, the biggest ballers who built on top of it, Facebook, Google,
Yeah.
right? Because they just built it. It's basically like the internet is like the land, and like what Facebook and Google did was like build the trains and the planes. But all the artists, like everybody with the IP, the leverage, they're getting the dollars. No more middlemen have to bring so much value now, which is great. Can't just sit and be like, cool,
Yeah, cool stuff.
right? And that's it. And there's merit to it. The people that deserve it are getting it.
Right.
It's really like.
And it hasn't even started.
You know what I noticed though, Gary, and I want your opinion
Sure.
on this. I've noticed that every idea that I've had, whether it was a drum kit or the podcast or whatever it was, past the aux,
Good.
they're all things that I felt like would end up being really fun to do. And so my kind of philosophy I'm adopting now is like,
If it's
if
fun.
it's fun, it's probably
Well,
worth doing.
you know why that happens? It's a bigger macro situation. Because it's fun, you're willing to work your face off.
Right.
And working your face off is actually the gateway. It's not the fun. The fun is the doorway that gets you to put in the work, that gets you the results. Because D-Rock loves filming, like the 24/7 nature of what he does is, you know, is why so many kids want to film and do this, but they don't want to, it's not fun enough for them. You have to love it. So, the cost of entry now is, you see, understand? You have to love, like for me, building brands, whether it's my own brand, brands for other people, other things, the why, it's so the only thing I give a shit about that I'm willing to put in the 19 that it takes.
Right.
Because the problem is now with the internet, like we were just saying, being the middleman, and everybody can play, there's some kid in Kansas City who's gonna put in the 19.
100%.
Right.
Might even put in 20.
And I don't want any of you little fuckers none of you, to take my shit. Now what's amazing is though, the biggest thing I didn't know is that's some fun, but there's so much that all those little fuckers that are gonna put in the 19 are gonna get theirs too. And that makes me happy.
Yeah.
So I would say fun's a great gateway
Right.
to, fun is the precursor to ridiculous amount of work, which then gets you there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I did that sneaker joint and then got in a car and then took a red-eye connecting flight to Naples, Florida to sell Hertz Rent-A-Car, got the business and then flew back here. 4 flights in 20 hours, you know, ego getting gassed up with 2,000 people, and then humility to be on the plane fucking
Right.
like this,
Right.
like no PJ, like fucking like putting in the grind,
That's real.
you know? And then walk in and be like, please, can I help you? Like have the humility to be like, hey, middle management person in this rental car company, I'd really love your business. Like being, you know, being able to run that gamut of
Right.
ego and humility,
Yeah.
fun,
Fun, right?
fun.
How often do you like balance that for yourself? How often is it fun and how often is it not fun, if that even really?
As long as it's macro fun, I recognize micro shit exists.
Right.
Like Tuesday might suck, March might suck, 2018 might suck, but macro it's fun. And when you get to that perspective, you don't slow down when Tuesday, March, or a year is shit. And that's why most people lose, because they stop either an hour into it not going well, a day, a week, a month, got it?
Right.
So don't get crippled, like nothing's perfect every second.
Yeah.
The best things nothing's perfect, but having the understanding that macro, like what else would you rather be doing?
Exactly. Exactly.
And then you start complaining about dumb shit, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're playing the game of your dreams. Like little you growing up in Newark, if you would have showed this now, you and Dr. Dre,
Yeah. It's
Come
crazy.
on.
It's crazy every time I see it.
so that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm perspective out.
Yeah. That makes so much sense.
10 years ago, we would have met, I'm like, oh, let's chop it up in the future. Now I'm like, boom, let's put them on brown bags. We put out content. Like, you turn yourself into a media company, you can always do stuff, right?
Yeah, it's 360 Ninja now.
Oh God, it's so fun, and stakes are so high.
Yeah.
Stakes are so high. The people that don't grab this shit by the neck over the next 2 decades are gonna sit back and be like, what the fuck was I thinking? How did I not see it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, they're ahead of the curve. Like, what he's doing, he might be the only one doing it.
He took something that used to be like held secret and he open sourced it and created an API, and so he's scaling like a tech company.
And
Alright,
that
Got it?
Put it like that. That makes
And that's what I'm doing.
sense, yeah.
The business knowledge and the ideas I have, I'm sharing them with the world for free.
Yep.
this is stuff people used to sell. This is stuff a bunch of losers are selling now and are giving you nothing. This is stuff that I get paid tens of millions of dollars for, and I'm giving it to these fuckers for free if they're willing to just sit on their ass and watch it a little bit on YouTube. Like, that is incredible. That's why I have power. That's why so many people show up, because I'm giving them the best shit for free.
Yep.
It's funny because I think the biggest reason everything ends up working is he does the podcast and he does a Q&A thing.
Yeah.
He gets on Twitter,
Love,
responds
love,
to people,
love,
responds
the
love,
to
crazy-
love,
Instagram.
love,
Yeah,
love,
exactly.
Every kid that says
love,
something.
love,
He
right?
gives a lot away for free too, though. It's
Yeah.
It's leverage.
Yeah.
Listen, everybody close their eyes and think about the person that brings you the most like happiness and love and value. You're always trying to be around that person.
100%. 100%.
Yep. And all those kids that came to my event last night, all of them listen to my podcast. They have all the kits. They have all the, you know, they know all about me. They're just invested.
It's community, man.
They're
And you know what
invested.
else is crazy? How long you been like really hacking at it? Like, how long have you been like thinking about it that way, you think?
I would say 6 years maybe.
So you already know, I don't have to give you any advice.
Yeah.
It's just one day at a time.
Yeah.
You know, for me, this has been a really interesting year because it did change. Like, it was like, like, I laugh every time a day like this happens for Boyd. I just sit there and I'm like, what does he think? What does he think? Because it really just went,
Yeah.
you know, like
Quick.
real quick since December, you know?
Yeah, things are on fire right now.
Man, you guys are killing it.
But it's 30
But it
years in
wasn't
the
quick.
30 years in the
It's
making.
like quick and not.
Truly,
The work
true.
went in.
What
Yeah.
my thing is, and you know, I think of myself much more like an artist. Like, when I think about me as a businessman, I think I'm a purebred. I think I've been doing it like the same way people do sports and art. They give up on school and anything else. That's what I did.
Yeah.
But I did it for business, and nobody understood it back then. I didn't even understand it. It was like I was drawn to the LUT. I felt like I was like, you know, I felt like I was like a fruit fly, just like, you know, like I couldn't help it. Like, I understood, my logical brain was like, school's, you know, important, but my heart and soul was like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way when I started making music. I was like, man, school's not for me.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
And-
hard.
Yeah, it's
right?
hard. It's hard being,
Especially from newer, you know,
man,
you gotta
being
get out.
a Filipino
Yeah,
kid from Jersey.
That's right, getting
My
out. I
parents
know.
are all about
Education's the way out. We
school,
fucking,
yeah.
why do, you know, did they come, were they born in the Philippines?
They were.
Yeah, so like, what the fuck did we come here for? Like,
Yeah,
educate.
exactly.
Yeah, I get it, man. I
Yeah.
know. This is what every one of the kids everybody who's watching this on YouTube right now, every 17-year-old is like, they got the parents' pressure. And I keep telling these kids, I'm like, you're better off being upset and having issues now, because if you listen to them and become a lawyer and you wake up at 39 and you're miserable, you're gonna fucking regret it. And you're gonna blame your parents for the rest of your life, and you guys are gonna have 30 years of bad relationship instead of 30 months.
It's true. I see another issue too with, like, you know, with upcoming rappers and producers, where the grind and the pressure produces enough stress for them to not even really enjoy what they're doing.
That's right.
And so
Because they're not
5 years
purebreds.
go by. Yeah, 5 years go by.
You know
and
why?
they're like, fuck.
They came into the game for the wrong reasons.
Right.
They came in for the glitz and the glamour. Like, the grind doesn't feel like, it feels like a grind once in a while for all of us,
Of course.
but it's not really.
Yeah.
Like, what else would you do?
So true.
Like, what else would you do?
Yeah.
Like, what else could I possibly do than take red eyes?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what else?